It's the Unsung Heroes. Unsung Heroes. It's the Unsung Heroes. Unsung Heroes. It's the Unsung Heroes.
Welcome to another episode of Unsung Heroes, a production made by Smile Foundation Kenya. Here is where we carry out the conversations and find out who your unsung hero is. Today we have a guest. He will tell us where he comes from and what he does. Welcome him to the show, Gilbert. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Thank you very much.
Tuambie.
My name is Gilbert Njeru.
Yes.
I work with a charity organization called Moving Mountains Kenya. And I'm a social worker by profession.
Good.
Yeah. And also a counselor.
Oh, kwa hivyo unaweza nipea counseling.
Yeah. I can give you a session.
on live show.
Yeah.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
Moving Mountains, mmekuwa mkidu what?
So Moving Mountains is a registered charity organization in Kenya. And we've been working with street kids from as early as 1997.
97.
Yeah, 1997. That's when the founder started coming to Kenya. So yeah, for me, I joined the organization in 2001. Well, immediately you can do the calculation of how old I am.
You have been there for a while.
Yeah. So yeah, and yeah, we work with street kids. Apart from street kids, also we work with the community itself, because you know these kids come from the street. No, they come from the community. They come from the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a rescue center where we run a feeding program. And apart from the feeding program, we also have other programs into it that brings the kids together, you know. Yeah.
True. To capacity build.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So far, I want you to share to our audience, wajue, since you started moving mountains, have the mountains moved? Because then we need to embrace the idea behind the name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I would actually comfortably say I've seen over 100 kids transform, you know, from the streets, you know. We don't only just work with kids from the streets, you know, like when we talk about street families, we also have street families that live in the slums within a town, you know. Yeah.
Yes.
And in the evening they will go back to their small houses, you know. Yeah, I've seen over 100 that I can actually probably even call out by names transform from the street to school. You know, depending, some of the kids are too old to go back to school. The rescue center that we run, we also have a teacher for adult literacy. That's another program. We realized if someone has been out in the street for too long and they want to go back to school, how do you take them to school? He's already 7 years old. He doesn't know how to read and write. It becomes a bit of a challenge. Some of these kids now, they are beyond the age of joining the normal school, so they want to go do courses like in tertiary institution.
Yes.
You know, plumbing, mechanic, things like that. So we have like adult literacy classes where they are taught how to read and write. You know, when you take them to the polytechnics, they're not embarrassed because at least they can write their name. And you know, most of it is practical. So if they get 80% out of 80% on practical, they have passed. You know, so the theory, if they just write their name, they're okay. And that is how, like, that is one of the way we've been helping them. And apart from that, also we use sports. Yeah.
Yes.
So we started a football team. Because one of the way to try and bring all the kids together,
Yes.
we started with a football team. The team is called Black Cats Football Club.
So they play football together
They play football together.
because that is what brings them together. Then, how do you carry out a conversation after a football match? Are they willing and open to discuss the elephant in the room?
Yes. When we started the football team, the first match I remember in 2005,
Yes.
we put them in a local tournament. That football match lasted only less than 10 minutes. And they had chapward around 6-7 goals. Because you see, we've just gotten them fresh from the streets.
Yes.
They are here. We are starting a football team. Mistake number one, we gave them jerseys which are long sleeved, and they are still sniffing glue. So the goalkeeper, when the whistle is starting, is here. The other team from the middle goal. The next thing, within 10 minutes, we saw the kids chase the goalkeeper out of the football pitch.
It's gotten personal.
And that's how we lost the first hit. And that's how that tournament came to an end.
That was the death of the tournament.
But immediately after that, when they came back the next week, it was like, so now you guys need to train,
Yeah.
By using football, we use football as a rehabilitation tool.
Yeah.
But them running a bit, they are coughing, is because you're sniffing glue. They are coughing, is because you are smoking,
Yes.
So we started giving them some friendly matches. When they go for like local tournaments, we used to do like local tournaments.
Okay.
When you take them for local tournaments, and then they see they can actually win, now they want to...
The
morale goes up.
Yes.
And we started the team with only street kids. And then we realized these street kids also come from the slums within. And we are trying to sort of like reintegrate these kids back in the society. So the football team now expanded now. Apart from the street kids, even
Other
the
people
kids
joined.
Even the kids who come now from the slums, kids who come from less fortunate families, they joined. And that's how we've grown it from 2005. And right now, it's a football academy. Yeah. Supporting...
Fully fledged.
Yeah, supporting over 120 kids. Where we have under 7, under 10, under 13, under 15, under 17.
That means you have different coaches to train different age groups.
Yeah. No, we only have 3 coaches, because they don't train all of them at the same time.
Okay.
So we have 3 coaches, 2 male coach and 1 female coach because of the girls team.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me how you handle the issue of hygiene. They are normal, they belong to us.
Yeah.
But for us to work with them, we have to accept who they are.
Yeah.
And not run away. Akuje tu vile mchafu hivyo nini. Nikuja kukusaidia. Sifai kukuja na conditions.
Na conditions, yeah.
Once you come with conditions, ataeka ukuta.
Like now at the rescue center that we run, we feed a mean of 150 kids. Daily. Monday to Friday, January to December. But over holidays, the number goes sometimes as high as 250. That is April, August, and November, December holiday. Because now we have kids who've gone to boarding schools, kids who have gone to secondary school, kids who are, when they come, we still engage them at the center, and we have the activities, different activities running. Now, how we manage the hygiene. The first thing, any kid who comes to the center the first day, we accept them as they are. They will come, they will have food, we will see they will come with the glue, we'll give them an eye, and the next day we'll tell them, now, you're not allowed to come with glue here if you want to have a meal. The 4th day, by the time they're coming, because they normally go for football training in the morning, there are those who are going to the class in the morning, So before lunch, we have a shower block for the boys and the girls. So before the lunch,
before the food,
they come, everybody gets like a bar soap, You know, go to the shower, have shower, come back, you know, and they eat.
So the food is the motivation for,
The
for
food,
bathing.
yeah, the food is the food is the motivation for a lot of things.
Things, yes.
You know, these kids are out there, they've slept hungry, and you want them to go to the class. How are they going to go to class if they are hungry?
Yeah.
You see, yeah. So the first thing when they come in the morning at 9, they get hot porridge. When they get hot porridge, they can go to class, and the other ones can go for football training, depending with the activities that we are doing for the day. After that, you know, they know after that and after the training, they can come and have lunch. And that's why we do the training for them in the morning. So that in the afternoon also, we give them time to go and, you know, hustle or do some bit of work like porters in the market, you know, so that they can have also, they can afford to buy themselves dinner.
Do you mean to say that in the rescue center, you don't host any of them in terms of, you don't house them?
No, we don't house them. It's a shelter, and we call it a safe space. So when they walk inside that gate, they know they're in a safe space. Because we have all the staff ready and willing to talk to them. Working closely with the children's department is when we have like special cases, because you get some very complicated cases, you know. And yeah, with the children's department, we have extra sort of like manpower. So even students who go for attachment at the children's department office, like in Embu, you know, they normally have to do like 2 weeks at the rescue center. So, so we are well equipped because of networking. And you know, when you're working with street kids, you have to network also even with the community.
You can't do it alone.
You can't do it alone. Like now in our small town, what we do is we discourage people giving the kids money and giving them handouts. Because you see, the minute a child come and tell you, I've not eaten lunch, and you give them 50 shillings, you are indirectly contributing to getting them high. Because if this kid was making, if he had 20 bob, and he kunywas gum for 10 bob and coolers 10 bob, when you give them 50 bob, what do you expect? They will buy more drugs for 30 shillings. And that's why you see we run the rescue center and the feeding program. So even the children's department and all the business community around, they know when the kids want food or they ask for food, they are told go to the rescue center. And in 2000, I think in 2006, when we did the census in Embu and this one we did it jointly with the children's department. We did a census to know how many street kids and street families we had. We had a total of almost 190 something street kids and street families in Embu town, which is a very small town. But right now, we have less than 30 street kids and street families in that town. And
most of them have been reintegrated.
Reintegrated, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to ask you this. You see, once you provide a place where these people can come and eat, then go back to their normal ecosystem, so a viewer would think you're making these people, you're giving them a sofa seat, a sofa set in the streets.
Yeah.
How have you been able to create an environment through the resource center that changes their mindset into wanting to become a normal human being?
You know, for someone ending up in the street, it's not by choice.
There's a reason.
You know, there's a reason behind it.
Yes.
And unless if you're sick, you know, and you need medical help, that's why you leave a cozy, comfortable home where you get warm food or warm meals and go to the street. So when we find these kids in the street and we give them that meal, we are not only just giving them, the meal is an incentive to bring them to the center. And that's why we have counselors. That's why we have an older lady, you know. That's why we work with and network with all the people who do like mental health talks, you know, yeah. And that's why we have the sports program, which is that's why we have the sports program. we try bring these kids and try to identify what was the reason or what was the cause of this child ending up in the street. You find most of these kids you find in the street, they come from the slums around. But you find these are kids who some of them have been left by their sickly guardians or elderly guardians. You know, someone got a baby and he was not able to take care of the kid. Yeah. They disappear, they leave them with their grandparent.
With their grandparents, yes.
A grandparent has like 6 kids that he's taking care of. It gets to that point he's not able to go for kibarua. What happens? These kids are forced to go in the street. And when they go to the street, that's how we end up having street kids. So for us, the feeding program is trying to reduce the amount of kids going to the street. And this was after doing a research. Why are we having these small kids in the street?
Yes.
Why are you not going to school? He didn't have breakfast, he didn't have lunch. How long do you think a kid can survive in school without breakfast and lunch? And the school is not providing. And you know our public school system, they don't provide those meals.
If I should speak into their mind, no one would even want to go to school.
Exactly.
Yes.
So for us, and that's why you see the number has reduced drastically, you know, because we provide the lunch, we get the kids from the streets. We have 2 schools that are close to the rescue center, like 15 minutes walk any direction.
Yes.
So the minute these kids start coming to the center and we start giving them the meal, we identify the reason why they are not going to school. When we find out the reasons, we now come and mitigate. We don't run a children's home. So we prefer giving child support when the kids are either at home or staying with their guardians or someone or a relative, you know. And as a charity, we sort of like give something small towards the family so that they are able to sort of like, you know, subsidize there. Yeah.
How long does it take for this child to open up and share the real reasons, the actual reasons why they are in the streets? Because I know it's not easy to navigate into their hearts.
Yeah.
The street life makes you so hard.
Yeah.
So hard that you know someone needs to hit that hard heart with a hard thing to open up. Is it so easy for you people to get that information from?
It's not easy, but it's also very easy. Because one, like I've disagreed a couple of times with the way sometimes the government will come to the street and put all the kids in a truck, take them to a place, you know. Now, that is not rescuing. Now they see as if now they are victims, you know. Yeah, they are convicts. They are being judged harshly by the society before they actually understand the reasons why they are actually there, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't say all of them, but there's a very small percentage. They are out in the street by choice, you know. But the biggest percentage is not there by choice. It's circumstances.
True.
So for us, the first thing is to try and earn their trust. And you see, with human beings, it's all about trust. If someone cannot trust you, you know, you cannot help them.
You're right, because in a normal family setting, sometimes your kids would not open up to you and they would choose their teacher above you.
Yeah.
So the teacher would have a lot of their home or house secrets more than the ones living there.
Yeah.
And they just choose. And it's not because you're bad or anything. They just feel like, oh, no, I can't share this with my dad or with my mom. Let me look for someone else. And it's because of that trust deficit that I believe sometimes other people prefer other people to be their parents, or to be their guardians, or to be their advisors. You'd allow someone else to advise you based on how you trust them. And this trust, watu wengi wanaifanyia interview. Kabla ni kutrust, let me see the track record. Wacha nione unakaaje. Hawa watoto si wajinga. Hata ukiwaitia chakula, wako like, unatuingiza nini? Nini? Hata kikula ako tu. Unajua, we, hata kitu ya bure wewe fikiria mara mbili. Have you had some of them come out to share their insecurities about your venture, about what you want to do with them. Na akwambie tu uko sure ni kutusaidia ama ni kitu ingine, because then there are organizations that look like that but zina introduce our watoto kwa drugs. Wanaanza kuuza drugs through these organizations, wanaanza kufanya crime, you know. So not every person wearing suit in the streets is straight or is good. Kutrust hapo, hatuta trust suti imefanya vitu mingi. Ni kama the way the society now has been conditioned. Ukisema nimeokoka na vile mapasta wengine wanachoma picha. Isa choma picha. Mumeweza kurelate na watu yaje mpaka wafike mahali waseme sasa si tunaweza waambia anything.
That's why I said, you know, the first thing we do is we become friends. And we've tried to create a society or a community amongst them. You see, it's like having cliques, you know. There are those ones who are good with football.
Yeah.
One of the things we tell them, this is a family. Like Moving Mountains as a charity organization, our structure is more of a family structure. And that's why you find even the beneficiaries who are finished, they still come. Like every December, on 25th, we do a Christmas lunch at the rescue center.
Yes.
The older kids and the older beneficiary, those who are working right now, they are the ones who come to cook for the kids.
Do some of them provide financial assistance?
Exactly. There is one who will buy a goat. There is one who will say, "Ndakuja na unga ya ngano." And the most beautiful thing is, even some of these kids will come with 4 or 5 cabbages to be added. Unajua? Because we've created a sort of like a home kind of, you know, environment. And they know if they have a problem, they will come and make sure they meet someone who they can talk to. And you know, it takes time. And that's why I said it takes time. The first day they come, you observe. The second time, you know, pole pole. The third time, when they start opening up, do you want to play football or do you want to do music? You know, we also have like, we run a program for life skill education.
Yes.
We do a life skill education program. So we take these kids also for camps. We get them from their environment.
So away from the rescue center,
away from the rescue center, away from the streets, where we put them in a bus and we go camping for the weekend. So when you are going camping for the weekend, at night we'll have a bonfire, they will have a nice meal, we'll show them their tents, they will sleep nicely. You know, in the morning, everybody gets a toothbrush. You tell them you have to brush your teeth, the importance of brushing your teeth. You know, we're trying to sort of like soften them up and show them, atuna ubaya, they will have breakfast, and then we'll go for an activity or we'll go for a hike. You know, we'll do some team building games here and start asking them, what is the challenge? You know, like, you understand, how do you know your red line? How do you know, how do you support each other? You know, how do you communicate with your friend? If you're suffering or you're going through something, you know, do you know who you can talk to? Look for someone like me, this person. We give them different options of the stuff that we have, because not all the kids will be comfortable to come and speak to me.
Obviously.
There are those who will be comfortable to go and speak to the lady who cooks.
I know your character may be a disaster for some of them.
Exactly.
Gilo will expose us.
Or if I tell Gilbert, he's going to laugh at me, you know.
But atanipea sura zile za angalia mara mbili, you know. There's one thing which is common with street families or people who have come from the streets. Sometimes, and after a while of being helped, being sheltered, people showing concern, some of them change. Kwa hiyo hesabu, hatuwezi sema wote wataharibika hapana. But then some of them revert back to the old life. Have you had those cases? And if they're there, how are you dealing with them?
Yeah, we've had a couple of those kind of cases, and like when we started, you know, and even now, you find you will take 10 kids, you'll take 10 kids to an institution, because you see, we don't have a children's home. So you'll probably get a slot of 10 kids. You take 10 kids.
Yes.
Out of the 10 kids, 4 will run away back to the streets, but you will have 6 who will stay. So for me, I normally have not like my personal policy. I normally say you cannot change the whole world, but you can change the world around you. Yeah. So yeah, there are those who will not toe the line based on their personal differences, and most of them are those kids who are above the age of 14, 15. When they are already at 15 years going up, it becomes very difficult because already there is a kind of lifestyle they are used to where they are their own bosses.
And the life has been constant for long.
Exactly. So trying to change their mindset becomes a bit difficult. Putting them in an institution or putting them a place where they have to follow rules, it becomes a challenge. And that's why, like an organization, we sat down and we've come up with a new program. And we ask ourselves, these street kids that we are trying to rescue from the street who are at the age of 9, 10, 7 years old, they've come from somewhere. They were somewhere until they go to the age of 7, 8, and they are able to get in the streets. So we did a small survey and we were going in the slums and we realized this kid is 5 years old, he's supposed to be in school. He's not going to school. Why? He's staying with an aged person, or he's staying with a guardian who is an alcoholic, he's a drunkard. They will not take any responsibility and they will not take them to school.
Yes.
So this kid is 5 years, 6 years, he's still out, he's not going to school.
Yes.
So how do you expect this kid to go to the system? They will end up in the street. So as an organization, we've come up with a program for free ECD, where we identify these kids who are
as early as possible.
Because now we are saying we need to start mitigating. If we've reduced the number of street families in Embu from 180 to less than 30, now why do we have this 30 number which is very constant? It's because now there are those kids who are just there and they're not going to be taken to an institution or to school. So how do we help in? Let's come in, let's mitigate. Let's get the nearest ECD for these kids. How much is the cost? This is the cost.
Yes.
Let's put them and give them a scholarship for a whole year. And the foundation for a child starts at that age. When this kid misses that foundation, it becomes even harder in later life to sort of like assist. And that's why now we decided, let's go to the root and start tackling the root.
The English proverb says you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Once the foundation is firm, with bad habits, you have to break it.
Yeah.
You can't change it. You can't amend it. Now, since you started the work up to now, can you say you've achieved your goals? And to what percentage? Is it working? Can you encourage someone who wants to start the same thing? Because then we have people who have the same ambition, who have the same dream. They want to come into your space and do what you're doing. They need to hear from someone who has been there to know if this thing works.
Yeah, as in, I would encourage people to join in, because one thing I believe, it's all about networking. And as an organization, and as many organizations, we have limits.
True.
We have limits based on the funds that we have, and we are able just to take a certain number of kids at a certain given time. Because you see, when you start supporting 2 kids or 10 kids right now, this is something that most of the people don't understand. Like, if you look at our organization, we support a very small number of kids. And people would be like, your organization is big. Why are you only supporting 10 kids now? But one thing people forget, when I take 10 kids in ECD, what is the cost of running or supporting that child a year? We are talking of less than 20,000 a year. When this kid goes to primary school, that money goes slightly up. When this kid goes to secondary school, we are talking about 10. We are spending like 10, 20K a year. When they go to secondary school, you're talking about almost 100.
The budget goes up.
You're talking about almost 100 a year, because you're talking about school fee, transport, shopping for these kids. You have to take care of them over the holiday.
Yes.
When they go back home. And when they go to university now, the cost even goes higher. You're talking about almost 150.
True.
So you can imagine 150, 10 kids, 150. In 10 years' time, you are spending for the 10 kids only 100K. In 10 years, you are talking about almost 1 point something. So as a charity organization, you have limits.
Your limit.
And that's why I say, networking is the way through. And you don't have to help the whole world, just help the world around you. If you are able to take and transform one child, like you can imagine all of us here, if everyone is able to take one child, we
will reduce the burden.
We'll reduce the burden, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I should commend you for what you have done. In your humble submission, who do you think is the unsung hero? You can beat your own drums.
Yeah.
You can sound your own trumpet.
No, I think the people who give their time to assist and help, and make sure that especially kids get the basic needs, which is food, shelter, education, and health.
And health, yes.
Yeah.
Those are the heroes.
Yeah.
I believe you're also a hero. You've been there for 20-something years.
20-something years, yeah.
20-something years doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I should say you are called to do it. Because if you're not called, you'd not have been there. Handling people with these kind of challenges is not a walk in the park. This is not what everyone runs to do. No. So, number one, I commend you for your job. We recognize what you do. We also believe that moving mountains has been a hero to these kids, has been a family for these kids. And we believe that because of your intervention, you have just inspired a family, a people, a society, some individuals to do exactly the same thing. So, nimeshukuru sana.
Thank you.
Utarudi tena season 2.
Yeah, season 2, yeah.
Tuambie.
Yes.
Thank you.
If you invite me, I'll be happy.
Viewers, that has been our program, Umejisikilia Wewe Peke Yako. I want to encourage every viewer. You have heard what Gilbert has said. If we take this burden upon ourselves and try to rescue the situation from our homes, from where we live, from our neighbors, from our friends, we will reduce the burden. And that is it. That is what it means to be a hero. We thank you for watching. Reach out to us through our social media handles. Our name is Smile Foundation Kenya. See you on the next episode. Bye.
It's the Unsung Heroes. Unsung Heroes. It's the Unsung